Welcome back, everybody. This is Steve, KM9G, and this is...
not Becca, Katie9POK.
Today we're going to build the KM4ACK end-fed half-wave, and by we, I mean me. I'm actually going to be the one building it. Becca's going to help me tune it at the end. Let's get right to it. The KM4ACK end-fed half-wave 49:1 antenna kit. This kit comes with almost everything you need. What you're missing is some time and some knowledge, and hopefully the included directions that Jason sends along and this video will help you gain that knowledge that you have so that you can take the time to build this thing. So the hardest part that you're going to have with this is probably going to be this toroid, but I don't even think that that's all that hard. We've wound some toroids before on this channel, and we're going to wind some more in the future, I am sure. But this is a 49:1, so there's a whole bunch of math on here that makes all of this magic work. But basically what you're looking for is 2 turns of some magnet wire. That's probably not going to be the easiest stuff to see on camera. Passed through the center of the toroid, and then the rest of the wire goes through to make a total of 14 passes through the center of the core, and that's how you get your transformer. So let's get after building this thing. It looks like it comes with just about everything you need. It probably does come with everything you need. What I've got here is some nice magnet wire, and this is what we're going to use to make a magnet, essentially, make a transformer. And they call it magnet wire not because it's magnetic, but because you make electromagnets with it, essentially. So I'm going to unwind this. I'm going to be very careful to not kink it at all as I unwind it. I don't want to like pull it in the wrong direction as I unwind it. I want to make sure it's going all in the proper direction. And then we will start with the wraps. Alright, now there is an unknown length of twists that you need to make in order to get this thing all twisted up and proper. So we're just going to take some, and I happen to have some extra magnet wire, an extra short piece of magnet wire here. And we're going to take this short piece and we're going to wrap it around this long piece, and then we will know whether we have the right amount or not. And I don't know what an easy way to do that is. So we're going to take the 2 end pieces and we're going to cross them over a couple of times to get that wrap started. And then we're going to wrap the rest of it. So hang on a second. Alright, so I have wound up about that much. Let's see, I have got, according to my thing here, I've got 12 inches. According to my mat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that through the core until we get to the end of the wraps, and then we'll wrap it around. So that's 1 turn through, and that's 2 turns through. So that's how you do. You just look through the center of the core for the number of turns and you're good to go. Now we take the longer lead. We want to wrap that through 7 more times. So there's number 3. Seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so on turn number 7, what they want you to do is cross over the other side. And the only reason for this crossover to the other side is so that when you are done, your magnet wire enters and exits at the same side of the core. There's no physical reason, no electrical reason, no chemical reason, no known reason other than that is to get you to the other side like that, which will then make both of them exit on the bottom, and I'll show you when we get all the way done. So there is number 8. Okay, so there's your 14 turns. Let's count them up. 1, 2 are your twisted together turns. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's number 8 over here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And so what I was saying is, this one here comes out on the bottom of the toroid, and this one here comes out on the bottom of the toroid. So this being the top surface, this being the bottom surface. Turn number 1 comes out, well technically this is turn number 2, comes out of the bottom side, and this one comes out of the top side. And there you go. That's the only reason for that magic. Now we want to try and space these out along the outside of the core, nice and neat, because that's the kind of people that we are, nice, neat people. And then this goes right here. So you have this little notch over here, which is part of your retention, your extra cord retention. We'll get to that in a bit. So that's just the side that you want that on. So what we will do is we will take these zip ties here and put them through these special zip tie sections. So we want to go down through the top and then back up through the bottom, through the toroid. Alright, there we go. That looks pretty good. Alright, now is the time to start doing some assembly. This is actually more my favorite part than winding toroids. I got the BNC version. You can get this in SO239 version as well. The only difference is the type of connector. Get the one that suits your needs. And this one happens to suit my needs. So this goes right on through here, hopefully. Where's the flat part? There's the flat part. Perfect. And then I'm going to put on the lock washer. And I'm going to take this, this is your ground lug here for your BNC connector. I'm going to take this and bend it a little bit so that tab sticks up in a usable fashion for me. Then I'm going to take this nut and put it down. Alright, that's not going anywhere there. Let's turn my soldering iron on because we'll let that warm up while we're doing the rest of this jazz. Alright, and then we have the mounting stud for the antenna itself right there. And we have this pre-cut antenna wire. I think it's cut to an approximate length, and then you would trim it to the appropriate length for what you're working on. And what we're going to try and do is use this bit of strain relief here to help as we hold the wire up. So that goes on next with those two. And then, you know what, I want to put a washer on this stud first. See if I can do this with one hand. Nope, can't do it with one hand. Back up. Now it's just a challenge. It's a mission in life to get this thing on with one hand. Done. We got that on. We've got the antenna element on. We need to take another washer and put that on. And then up next is our first bit of trickery. Now you can put this on in any order that you want. This is just the order that I happen to be putting it on. Oh, weather alert. Alright, next up is our first cut of the day. And that's going to be right about there. And that's how we hook the magnet wire up to the antenna element. And you want to scrape the enamel off the outside of the magnet wire, the enamel wire, so that you can reveal some bare metal. Put that on for our crimped end there, and we'll get a nice pair of pliers to crimp that with. Mostly because I don't have a crimper this size handy. That's any better quality than a pair of pliers. Let's do it. Nope, need something bigger. Told you they weren't any better, they're just bigger. Alright, and now we have our first bit of solder coming up. Because I always like to crimp and solder. Some people don't, I do. Alright, that seems to have worked out well. Next up is the capacitor. And I'm not 100% sure how I want to mount this, but I think I'm going to do it by putting it into the BNC connector. And then I might wrap it up a little bit later. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting it right there like so. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken one leg of the capacitor and I've taken the magnet wire and I've put them down inside the center of the BNC, and then I have applied some solder to that. So next up is this part here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Get rid of the extra tail that I don't need of that. And what we need to do here is clean off the enamel wire from both sides of this. And then wire all three of these wires, these two plus the other side of the capacitor, to the ground. I'm going to put these through the bottom side like so. Nope, I still see some more enamel. Alright, and now I've got the capacitor going into one side and I have the magnet wire going into the other side, and we're going to apply more solder there. And now the final touches is to put the transformer lead onto the stud, and then we will tighten that down. Okay, and then next up is to take care of this dog bone end. This is some really nice antenna wire. I like this. And then what you want to do is figure out your favorite method for putting this antenna wire through this dog bone on the end. This dog bone on the end here is for insulating it from whatever it is that you use to connect it up to the other side of the world. And so I connected mine like that, and then we will figure out if that is the right length or not. So let's get this thing out and on an antenna analyzer. Well, the antenna is all built, and that means it's time for the KD9POK antennalizer. And we have the antennalizer here with the KD9POK battery mod. Let me turn the battery pack on. Let's turn the antenna analyzer on, and let's see where we are. This is a 40 meter end-fed half wave, so I need to turn the selector knob to the 4 to 10 setting. It's currently reading 9 megahertz, 9.9 megahertz, almost 10, at 2.5 to 1. So let's see if we can figure out where the, oh, it's going up, wrong direction. See if we can figure out where this is resonant at. And we are 1.2. Alright, there is 1.1-ish. Alright, it's 6.7 megahertz. Okay, Becca, you there?
Yes, I am.
Alright, the antenna is resonant 1.1 to 1 at 6.75 megahertz. We want it to be resonant around 7100. What do we need to do?
We're going to need to shorten the wire, aren't we?
I think that is correct. Go for it.
Alright, I'll let you know when I'm done.
Rap, rap, rap.
Oh yeah. Alright, I wrapped it. Do you see any changes?
Okay, I am at 4 to 10 on the antenna analyzer. Sorry, the antennalizer. And let's see, we're trying to go to 7100. Oh yeah, 1.2 to 1, 7100. This antenna is also resonant on 20, 15, and 10. 20 is 14 to 14350. Let's do that. 14. This thing moves so fast. 14 is 1.5, 14, 350 is 1.2, good. 15 is 21 to 21,450, let's do that. 21. A little high on the lower portion of 15, but 15 is a big band, 21,450. Move so fast. 1.5, that's not too bad. And 10 is 28 to 2970. All right, so 28, we're at 2.1 to 29. All right, so the upper portion of 10 is good. 29.7 is 1.2. I think that's fantastic, Becca. Good job.
Thanks, Dad. Good job to yourself for figuring out the workings of that analyzer. Do you have anything else you want me to do while I'm still on here?
I think we're good to go for now. Thank you very much. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, clear.
This is Kilo Delta 9 Papa Oscar Kilo, clear.
All right, so these are some stakes that you can get at Tractor Supply that are meant for wrangling in cattle. There is a metal spike in the ground, and then the whole stake is plastic, so nothing's going to interact there. And then we've got a couple of those headed out to the road, and the whole antenna is only a couple of feet off the ground, and that's perfectly okay for tuning it. And then what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to run some contacts in a future video. There'll be a nice end card and a link in the description below when we get that done. And then I'm going to shove it up into this tree here. And I think this is an elm tree, but I'm sure you guys will let me know. And there's a rope in the tree up to that branch. And we'll see how it performs in that fashion. So we're going to do an experiment with near vertical incidence skywave propagation versus some type of sloper configuration. So stay tuned. All right, the build was pretty fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. That toroid is not as scary as some of the other toroids that I have wound. We've got this thing out in the yard. I'll give you some beauty shots as to how this thing is set up. It's set up Nevis style. And the first thing we're going to do is get it all tuned in. So let's do that. And then I'm going to do some testing in a future video of Nevis versus not Nevis, and we'll see what that looks like. And fun tip, when I was a kid, my uncle used to call me Nevets because that's my name's said backwards, N-E-V-E-T-S instead of N-V-I-S, near vertical incidence skywave propagation. Becca, you have been awesome. Thank you for all your help on this. Anything you want to say?
Thanks for being awesome.
What's your channel, Becca?
My channel, not Becca, Katie9POK, I have one video. It's got him in it. It's also got Leah in it.
Reciprocity.
So what's reciprocity?
Reciprocity means I help you out a little, you help me out a little.
Well,
I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Except it's more like, you know, you're scratching my back a whole bunch and I just like scratched one little tiny itch.
Parenting. All right, so Becca's channel is linked down below. Thanks for being awesome.